Chosen ones, listen to me carefully. I carry an urgent and weighty message today, and this message is not for everyone. If you are not walking the divine path of God, if your heart is closed to truth, you do not need to stay here. But if you are a true follower of God, if your spirit feels stirred right now, then this message is meant for you, and only you. In the next 3 days, something big will happen. Not by chance, not by coincidence. God Himself is warning you because He loves you, because He has chosen you, and because what is coming requires awareness, not fear. These next 3 days are critical, and what unfolds will mark a turning point in your spiritual journey. I need you to stay with me until the very end of this message. What I am about to share will bring clarity to your mind, peace to your heart, and direction to your steps. This message did not reach you randomly. It arrived at the exact moment your soul needed it, even if your mind does not fully understand why yet. Before we go any further, chosen ones, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, turn on the bell icon so you do not miss what God is revealing here. Share this message with other chosen ones who need this confirmation, and comment 777 in the comments as a sign today.
Why the next 3 days are spiritually significant. Chosen one, I want you to slow your mind for a moment and listen with your spirit. The next 3 days are not just a number on a calendar. They are a spiritual window. God has always worked through appointed times, seasons, and moments that carry weight. When He moves, He does not do it randomly. He does it with intention, precision, and purpose. Right now, you are standing at the edge of one of those moments. Throughout Scripture and spiritual history, God often gives a warning before He acts, not to create fear, but to prepare the heart. When something significant is about to shift, there is usually a quiet pressure beforehand. A restlessness you cannot explain, a heaviness mixed with expectation, a sense that something is about to change, even though nothing around you looks different yet. If you have been feeling this, you are not imagining it. Your spirit is responding to what heaven is preparing. These next 3 days matter because they are a period of alignment. God is not asking you to do more. He is asking you to listen more. Many chosen ones make the mistake of rushing when God is calling them to stillness. Movement feels productive, but stillness is often where divine instruction is released. In these 3 days, heaven is watching how you respond, not with your mouth, but with your posture of heart. You may have noticed distractions increasing lately, small things bothering you more than usual, old emotions resurfacing, thoughts trying to pull you back into doubt or fear. This is not accidental. Right before a breakthrough, resistance often intensifies. The enemy does not attack what is insignificant. Pressure is proof that something valuable is near. God allows this tension not to break you, but to sharpen your discernment. These 3 days are also a testing ground for trust. God is observing whether you will lean on your own understanding or rest in His wisdom. Chosen ones are often tested quietly. There is no audience, no applause, just you, God, and your decisions. What you choose to believe in these moments matters more than what you say publicly. Understand this clearly. God is not rushing you, but He is inviting you to be aware. Awareness is a spiritual discipline. When you are aware, you do not overreact. You do not panic. You do not force outcomes. You remain grounded, observant, and prayerful. That is the posture God is calling you into during these next 3 days. Some of you have been asking God for clarity. Others have been asking for peace. Some have been asking for direction. God answers those prayers in stages. First comes awareness, then comes separation, then comes revelation. You are currently in the awareness stage. Things are being highlighted in your life for a reason. Certain people, certain habits, certain thoughts. God is gently showing you what can go forward with you and what cannot. Do not mistake this season as delay. Delay feels heavy, but preparation feels intentional. God prepares his chosen ones privately before he positions them publicly. If he revealed everything at once, it would overwhelm you. So he breaks it down into moments, and right now, these 3 days are one of those moments. I want you to understand something deeply comforting. Nothing is about to happen to you that God has not already accounted for. He is not surprised. He is not scrambling. He is not reacting. He is guiding. When God warns, it is because protection is already in place. When God speaks, it is because the outcome is already secured. If you feel emotional right now, that is okay. If you feel calm but alert, that is okay. If you feel unsure but hopeful, that is okay. God is meeting you where you are, not where you pretend to be. These 3 days are not about perfection. They are about positioning your heart to hear him clearly. So breathe. Slow down. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. The significance of these next 3 days is not found in external signs, but in internal alignment. What God is preparing to do will make sense later. For now, your role is simple. Stay aware. Stay grounded. Stay close to God. Now give me the next section maintaining the specific word count mentioned on the outline. The warning. What God is asking you to pay attention to. Chosen one, I need you to understand this clearly and without confusion. God's warning is never meant to frighten you. It is meant to awaken you. There is a difference. Fear comes to scatter the mind, but a divine warning comes to focus the spirit. What God is doing right now is drawing your attention, not raising an alarm. He is saying, look closer, listen deeper, slow down enough to notice what you have been brushing past. Most of the time, God does not warn us about external danger first. He warns us about internal misalignment. He warns us when our heart starts drifting, when our focus weakens, when our emotions begin leading instead of our faith. And chosen one, if you are honest with yourself, you already feel what he is pointing at. God rarely introduces something new in a warning. He highlights what he has already been whispering about. Some of you are being warned about attachments, not because the thing or person is evil, but because it is no longer aligned. There are connections that were right for one season, but are too heavy for the next. God is not asking you to hate anyone. He is asking you to loosen your grip. When you hold on too tightly to what God is asking you to release, it creates inner resistance. That resistance is what drains your peace. Others are being warned about delay. Delayed obedience does not look like rebellion on the outside. It looks like hesitation, overthinking, waiting for a better time, waiting until you feel more confident. But chosen one, confidence grows after obedience, not before it. God is gently saying, do not keep postponing what I have already confirmed in your spirit. There are also warnings about emotional patterns. Some of you keep returning to the same mental loops, the same doubts, the same self-questioning, the same fear of being misunderstood. God is asking you to pay attention to your inner dialogue. Not every thought deserves agreement. Not every feeling deserves authority. A warning sometimes comes as a reminder that you are giving too much power to what does not speak truth. God may also be warning you about comfort. Comfort is one of the most subtle distractions for chosen ones. It feels safe, it feels reasonable, it feels calm. But comfort can quietly replace obedience if you are not careful. When God calls you higher, the old level will start to feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not a sign you are doing something wrong. It is a sign you are outgrowing where you are. I want you to hear this without defensiveness. God is not disappointed in you. He is invested in you. That is why he corrects. That is why he warns. Chosen ones are held to a higher standard, not because God is harsh, but because he trusts them with more responsibility. Correction is not rejection. Warning is not abandonment. It is proof of relationship. Pay attention also to how God may be warning you through stillness. Sometimes the warning is not loud. It is a lack of peace, a hesitation in your spirit, a heaviness when you consider a certain path. God often removes peace before he removes people or situations. Peace is a compass. When it starts to fade, something is off. Some of you are being warned about speaking too much, explaining yourself too often, defending what God already approved. When God is about to move, silence becomes protection. Not everyone needs to understand what God is doing in your life. Overexposure can drain spiritual momentum. God is teaching you discernment, not secrecy, but wisdom in what you share and with whom. There are also warnings about exhaustion. Chosen ones often push themselves beyond healthy limits because they feel responsible for everything. God is reminding you that rest is not laziness. Rest is obedience. When you are constantly tired, your discernment weakens. Your emotions become louder. Your reactions become quicker. God is asking you to slow down not because you are weak, but because what is coming requires clarity. Do not ignore the small nudges, the sudden urge to pray, the feeling to pause before making a decision, the discomfort you feel when something sounds good but feels wrong. Warnings often arrive quietly, and they require humility to recognize. Pride ignores warnings. Wisdom leans into them. Understand this too. God's warning is not about what you might lose. It is about what He is protecting. Sometimes God blocks paths not because they are bad, but because they would distract you from something better. Rejection, delays, and closed doors often come wrapped as disappointment, but they are actually divine protection. Chosen one, you are not being judged right now. You are being guided. God is inviting you to check your alignment before He shifts your assignment. He is asking you to pay attention to your heart, your patterns, and your posture. Not to condemn yourself, but to correct your course gently and intentionally. If you feel exposed by this message, that is not shame, that is awareness. Shame pushes you away from God. Awareness draws you closer. God is not pointing out these things to overwhelm you. He is pointing them out because you are capable of adjusting. So take this warning as an act of love. Let it soften you, not harden you. Let it guide you, not scare you. God is near. He is speaking, and He is preparing you, not for loss, but for alignment with what He has already prepared for you. Now give me the next section, maintaining the specific word count mentioned on the outline. What something big really means. Chosen one, I want to settle your heart right now, because when people hear the words something big will happen, the mind often runs ahead of the spirit. It imagines chaos, fear, sudden loss, or dramatic upheaval. That is not how God works with His chosen ones. God does not shock His children, He prepares them. When God says something big is coming, He is not speaking about destruction. He is speaking about transformation. Something big does not always arrive loudly. In fact, the biggest moves of God often begin quietly. They start as a shift in perception, a change in desire, a sudden clarity that alters how you see people, situations, and even yourself. You may wake up one morning and realize that what once mattered no longer holds the same weight. That is not confusion. That is growth. That is God recalibrating your inner world before He adjusts your outer one. Sometimes something big means an ending, and endings are uncomfortable even when they are necessary. God often removes before He replaces. He clears space before He fills it. When something exits your life during a divine season, it is not always because it was wrong. Sometimes it is because it has served its purpose. Chosen one, do not mourn what God is asking you to outgrow. You cannot carry old seasons into new assignments. For others, something big means revelation. A truth you were not ready to see before suddenly becomes clear. You understand why certain prayers were delayed. You see why certain doors never opened. You recognize patterns that once confused you. Revelation can feel heavy at first because it confronts illusion, but it ultimately brings freedom. Truth may sting briefly, but it heals deeply. Something big can also mean divine separation. God sometimes creates distance not to isolate you, but to protect you. There are moments when God pulls you away from people, conversations, and environments that no longer nourish your spirit. This separation can feel lonely, but it is intentional. Growth requires focus, and focus requires fewer distractions. God reduces noise so you can hear Him clearly. I want you to understand this deeply. Big does not mean harmful. Big does not mean loss without purpose. Big does not mean you are about to fall. Big often means you are about to rise, but rising requires release. Rising requires trust. Rising requires you to let go of who you were so you can step into who you are becoming. Some of you will experience something big internally. A burden lifting, a peace returning, a confidence settling in your spirit. You may not be able to explain it to anyone else, but you will feel lighter, stronger, clearer. This inner shift is often more powerful than any external event, because once the inside changes, the outside eventually follows. Others may experience something big externally, but even then, God does not leave you unprepared. If a door closes suddenly, it is because staying would have cost you more than leaving. If a truth comes to light, it is because living in illusion would have delayed your destiny. God does not expose to shame. He exposes to free. There is also a group of chosen ones who will experience something big in the form of responsibility. God may entrust you with more influence, more insight, or more spiritual authority. This does not always feel exciting at first. Responsibility can feel heavy before it feels honorable. But understand this, God only increases weight on shoulders that are strong enough to carry it. Do not overlook the possibility that something big could simply be peace. Real peace. Not the kind that depends on circumstances, but the kind that anchors you even when things are uncertain. Peace is one of the greatest signs of divine alignment. When God gives peace, it is not because everything is perfect. It is because He is in control. Chosen one, I need to correct a misunderstanding gently but firmly. Not every big moment is dramatic. Not every divine move comes with fireworks. Some of the most powerful shifts happen when no one else notices. But you will notice. Your reactions will change. Your patience will grow. Your discernment will sharpen. And you will realize that you are no longer triggered by what once unsettled you. Something big may also involve God rearranging your priorities. What you chase, what you tolerate, what you invest your time and energy into. You may suddenly feel uninterested in things that once consumed you. That is not boredom, that is elevation. When God is about to use you differently, He changes what satisfies you. There may be moments in these next days where you feel emotional without a clear reason. Let that happen. Do not suppress it. Emotions are often the surface expression of spiritual movement beneath. God touches the heart before He moves the hands. Tears are not weakness. They are release. They are healing. They are alignment. I want you to hear this clearly. God is not about to take something from you without giving you something greater in return. He is not a God of subtraction without multiplication. Even when it feels like something is being stripped away, it is often excess being removed so your true calling can breathe. If something feels uncertain right now, that does not mean it is unsafe. Faith does not require full understanding. It requires trust in the character of God. And His character is faithful, consistent, and loving toward His chosen ones. So when you hear something big will happen, do not brace yourself in fear. Open yourself in faith. Expect alignment. Expect clarity. Expect growth. Expect God to move in ways that ultimately bring you closer to who He created you to be. What is coming is not meant to break you. It is meant to build you. And when you look back, you will not say, "This season destroyed me." You will say, "This season prepared me." Now give me the next section, maintaining the specific word count mentioned on the outline. How the chosen ones are being positioned right now. Chosen one, what you are experiencing right now is not random. and it is not a sign that something has gone wrong. It is a sign that God is positioning you. Positioning is often uncomfortable because it requires movement without full explanation. God rarely explains everything at once. He adjusts you internally before he shifts you externally. That is why this season feels quiet, heavy, or even isolating. Many chosen ones go through a period where they feel misunderstood. People who once connected with you no longer do. Conversations feel shallow. Certain environments drain you instead of energizing you. This is not arrogance, and it is not judgment. It is awareness. God is refining your spiritual sensitivity. When your spirit matures, your tolerance for misalignment decreases. What once felt normal now feels off, and that is part of the positioning. Isolation is one of God's most misunderstood tools. When God isolates a chosen one, it is not to punish, but to prepare. He separates you so he can speak without interruption. Noise interferes with instruction. When everyone has access to you, discernment weakens. God pulls you aside so he can rebuild your focus, your confidence, and your dependence on him rather than on external validation. You may notice that your patience has been tested more than usual. Small delays, unexpected obstacles, situations that force you to wait. This is not God slowing you down. This is God strengthening your endurance. What is coming will require emotional stability, not impulsive reactions. God is teaching you how to remain grounded even when outcomes are uncertain. Some of you feel like you are ahead of time. You see things others do not. You feel called to more, but you cannot fully step into it yet. That tension is part of positioning. Being early often feels lonely. Being early often feels confusing, but being early is better than being late. God positions his chosen ones ahead of time so they can withstand what would overwhelm others. There is also a refining happening in your identity. God is stripping away labels that came from people instead of from him. You may feel less attached to titles, roles, or approval. That is because God wants you anchored in who you are, not in how others perceive you. When your identity is rooted in God, rejection loses its power. Praise loses its control. You become steady. Some chosen ones are being positioned through loss of connection, loss of routine, loss of expectations. This does not mean God has abandoned you. It means he is making room. Holding on to what no longer fits can delay what does. God removes weight so you can move freely. Even if the loss hurts, it is often lighter than what you were carrying before. You may also notice a sharpening of your discernment. You sense things quickly now. You feel when something is genuine and when it is not. This is not suspicion. This is spiritual maturity. God is positioning you to lead, influence, or guide, and that requires discernment. Naivety may feel kind, but wisdom protects purpose. Emotionally, you may feel waves, moments of confidence followed by moments of doubt. This does not mean you are unstable. It means you are shedding old layers. Transformation is rarely smooth. God allows the shaking so what is untrue falls away. What remains is solid. What remains is real. Some of you feel tired in a way that rest alone does not fix. That is spiritual fatigue from carrying too much that was never yours to carry. God is positioning you by teaching you boundaries. You do not have to rescue everyone. You do not have to explain yourself to everyone. You do not have to be available all the time. Protection of energy is part of spiritual maturity. Chosen one, God is also positioning your heart. He is teaching you humility without insecurity, confidence without pride, strength without hardness. These balances are not learned quickly. They are formed through experience, through silence, through waiting, through trusting God when you do not see immediate results. You might feel like life has slowed down. Progress feels delayed. Plans are unclear. This is not stagnation. This is recalibration. God slows things down so you do not miss what matters. Speed without direction leads to burnout. God values precision more than pace. There is a reason you are not where you used to be, but not yet where you want to be. That space is called preparation. It is uncomfortable because it stretches faith, but it is necessary because it strengthens character. God cares more about who you become than how fast you arrive. Pay attention to the people who drift away during this season. Do not chase them. Do not resent them. Bless them and keep moving. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Some were assigned to the previous one. Letting go is part of honoring the process. You are also being positioned through obedience in small things. Quiet choices, private decisions, moments no one applauds. God sees those moments. Heaven records them. Public promotion is built on private obedience. If you remain faithful here, elevation will come naturally later. Chosen one, you are not being hidden. You are being protected. You are not being delayed. You are being developed. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. Everything happening now is intentional. Even the confusion, even the silence, even the waiting. Trust the positioning. Trust the process. Trust the God who is guiding you step by step. You do not need to force what God is already arranging. Stay faithful. Stay aware. Stay grounded. When the moment comes, you will realize that every step of this season prepared you perfectly for what comes next. Now give me the next section, maintaining the specific word count mentioned on the outline. What you must do in the next 3 days. Chosen one, these next 3 days are not about panic, rushing, or trying to control outcomes. They are about posture. How you position your heart matters more than any action you could take. God is not asking you to fix anything. He is asking you to align. Alignment is quiet. Alignment is internal. Alignment begins when you stop reacting and start listening. The first thing you must do is slow down. Not just physically, but mentally. Your thoughts have been running ahead of God's timing. You have been trying to figure things out before God finishes revealing them. That creates anxiety. Anxiety is not a sign of responsibility. It is a sign of misplaced trust. When you slow your mind, you make space for peace. And peace is where God's voice becomes clear. During these next 3 days, choose stillness over noise. Reduce unnecessary conversations. Limit exposure to things that agitate your spirit. Not everything that is interesting is healthy. God often speaks in subtle impressions, not loud distractions. If your inner world is constantly noisy, you will miss gentle instruction. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is where direction forms. Prayer during this time does not need to be long or dramatic. God is not impressed by volume or repetition. He is drawn to sincerity. Speak honestly. If you are unsure, say that. If you are tired, admit it. If you are afraid, bring it to Him. God responds to truth, not performance. These 3 days are not about sounding spiritual. They are about being real. You must also resist the urge to explain yourself to people. This is important. When God is moving, explanations often drain energy that should be reserved for obedience. Not everyone needs to understand your silence. Not everyone needs access to your process. Over-explaining is often rooted in insecurity, not clarity. Trust that God can defend what He has ordained without your constant justification. Pay attention to your reactions. Over the next 3 days, notice what triggers frustration, sadness, or irritation. Reactions reveal areas where healing or release is still needed. Do not judge yourself for noticing them. Awareness is the beginning of growth. When something stirs you emotionally, pause before responding. Ask yourself why it affected you. God often teaches through reflection. Another important thing is rest. Real rest. Not distraction, not scrolling, not numbing. Rest that allows your nervous system to calm. Many chosen ones confuse exhaustion with weakness. That is not true. Exhaustion clouds discernment. God may be asking you to rest because clarity is needed for what comes next. When Elijah was overwhelmed, God did not correct him first. He let him sleep. Then he spoke. Guard your words carefully during these 3 days. Words carry weight. When emotions rise, the temptation to speak impulsively increases. But once words are released, they cannot be retrieved. Speak life. Speak faith. Or choose silence. Silence is often the wisest response when emotions are unsettled. God is teaching you restraint, not suppression. You must also avoid making major decisions out of emotion during this period. If something feels urgent, pause. Urgency often pushes people into choices they later regret. God does not rush his chosen ones into confusion. He leads them into peace. If a decision is from God, peace will accompany it, even if the outcome is unknown. If there is anxiety, wait. Protect your energy fiercely. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, plans, or emotions. Energy is a spiritual resource. When it is drained, discernment weakens. During these next 3 days, say no when you feel led to. You do not owe constant availability to anyone. Boundaries are not rejection. They are stewardship. You must also be willing to release what God brings to your attention. If something keeps coming to mind, do not ignore it. God highlights things so they can be addressed. This might be a habit, a relationship, a mindset, a fear. Releasing does not always mean cutting off abruptly. Sometimes it means loosening control and surrendering outcomes to God. Trust is critical in this season. Trust does not mean understanding everything. It means believing that God sees what you do not. When you trust, you stop forcing, you stop striving, you stop trying to manipulate timing. Trust allows God to work without resistance. Resistance delays clarity. Surrender accelerates it. Pay attention to dreams, impressions, and quiet insights during these days. God often speaks when the conscious mind is less dominant. Write things down if needed. Do not obsess over interpretation. Simply observe. God reveals meaning gradually. The goal is awareness, not immediate answers. Avoid conflict if possible. Not every disagreement needs to be addressed right now. Choose peace where you can. Peace preserves strength. Strength will be needed soon. Winning arguments is not the same as winning alignment. God values harmony in the heart more than being right in conversation. You must also remember who you are. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not being tested to fail. You are being refined to rise. Speak that truth over yourself. When doubt whispers, respond with truth. Faith grows when it is exercised deliberately. Gratitude is powerful during this time. Even simple gratitude shifts perspective. Thank God for protection you cannot see yet. Thank Him for clarity that is forming. Gratitude softens the heart and opens the spirit. A grateful heart is receptive to instruction. Lastly, stay close to God emotionally. Not out of obligation, but out of trust. Let Him steady you. Let Him guide you. Let Him carry what you were never meant to hold alone. These next 3 days are not about doing more. They are about becoming more aware, more aligned, and more receptive. If you follow this guidance, you will not miss what God is doing. You will not be confused by what shifts. You will recognize His hand even in subtle movements. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Stay obedient. God is already ahead of you, and He is leading you exactly where you need to be. Now give me the next section, maintaining the specific word count mentioned on the outline. The reward of obedience and alignment. Chosen one, I want you to understand something that will settle your heart deeply. God never asks for obedience without already preparing a reward. Obedience is not about restriction, it is about access. When you align with God, you step into a flow where resistance decreases and clarity increases. Alignment does not remove challenges, but it changes how those challenges affect you. Many people believe obedience delays joy, but that belief comes from misunderstanding God's nature. Obedience actually protects joy. When you walk in alignment, you stop fighting battles you were never meant to fight. You stop forcing doors that were never meant to open. And in that surrender, peace begins to return. Not shallow peace, but the kind that anchors you even when circumstances remain uncertain. One of the first rewards of alignment is inner stability. You begin to feel emotionally steadier. Things that once triggered anxiety lose their grip. You react less and observe more. This is not emotional numbness. This is maturity. God is teaching you how to respond instead of react. When your emotions stop controlling your decisions, wisdom has room to operate. Another reward is clarity. Obedience clears mental fog. Confusion thrives where alignment is missing. When you obey God, even in small things, your discernment sharpens. You begin to see situations for what they truly are, not just how they feel. Clarity brings confidence, not arrogance. You move forward without constantly second-guessing yourself. That confidence is quiet, grounded, and stable. Peace is also a reward, and it is one of the most powerful ones. Peace does not mean everything around you is perfect. It means everything within you is settled. When you're aligned with God, fear loses its voice, doubt loses its authority. You may still feel uncertainty, but it no longer controls you. Peace becomes your default state, not something you chase. Alignment also brings acceleration, but not in the way most people expect. God does not rush the process. He removes resistance. When you stop resisting His guidance, things begin to fall into place more naturally. Delays shorten, decisions become easier, opportunities align without excessive struggle. This is not luck. This is flow. Flow happens when effort and direction are aligned. Another reward is protection. Obedience shields you from paths that would have drained you, delayed you, or damaged you. Many people only recognize protection after looking back. God closes doors quietly. He redirects gently. He blocks what looks good, but would have cost you more than you realize. When you trust His redirection, you avoid unnecessary pain. There is also emotional healing that comes through alignment. Old wounds begin to lose their charge. Past disappointments stop defining your expectations. You stop projecting yesterday's pain onto today's opportunities. Healing does not always come as a sudden breakthrough. Sometimes it comes as a gradual release. One day you notice that something no longer hurts the way it used to. That is healing. Obedience also strengthens your relationship with God. Trust deepens intimacy. When you obey, even without full understanding, you experience God as faithful in new ways. Faith stops being theoretical and becomes personal. You no longer rely only on what you have heard about God. You rely on what you have experienced with Him. That kind of faith is unshakable. Another reward is authority. Spiritual authority grows through obedience. When you consistently align with God, your words carry more weight. Your presence becomes steadier. People sense wisdom in you, even if they cannot explain why. Authority is not loud. It is grounded. It comes from consistency, not performance. God entrusts influence to those who can handle it humbly. Alignment also attracts the right connections. When you stop chasing alignment with people and focus on alignment with God, relationships begin to shift. Some people fall away naturally. Others are drawn to you without effort. You stop forcing connections that were never meant to last. God brings people into your life who match your season, not your past. You may also notice an increase in patience. Patience is not passive. It is powerful. It allows you to wait without anxiety, to trust without panic, to remain steady while things unfold. Patience grows when you believe that God's timing is intentional. When you stop rushing outcomes, you preserve energy for what truly matters. There is also joy that comes from alignment. Not excitement that depends on outcomes, but joy that comes from knowing you are walking in truth. You feel lighter, you laugh more freely, you enjoy simple moments again. Joy returns when the soul is no longer burdened by constant striving. Obedience removes unnecessary weight. Confidence is another reward, but it is different from self-confidence. It is God confidence. You trust that even if you make mistakes, God can guide you. You stop fearing failure because you trust God's ability to redirect. This confidence allows you to take steps forward without paralysis. Fear loses its grip when trust grows. Alignment also increases resilience. When challenges arise, they do not crush you. You bend, but you do not break. You feel emotions, but they do not consume you. Resilience comes from knowing who holds you. When God is your anchor, storms lose their power to uproot you. Some rewards are not immediately visible, some unfold over time. But every act of obedience deposits something into your future. Nothing is wasted, nothing is overlooked. God remembers every quiet yes, every moment you chose faith over fear, every time you trusted Him when it was uncomfortable. Chosen one, obedience is not about proving yourself to God. It is about positioning yourself to receive what He has already prepared. Alignment does not earn love. Love is already given. Alignment allows that love to flow freely into every area of your life. If you remain obedient and aligned, you will look back on this season with gratitude. You will see how restraint saved you, how waiting protected you, how surrender strengthened you, and you will realize that what felt like a test was actually a blessing in disguise. Stay aligned, stay obedient, stay faithful. God's rewards are not always immediate, but they are always intentional. And when they arrive, they bring peace, clarity, and strength that no one can take away from you. Now give me the next section maintaining the specific word count mentioned on the outline. Conclusion. Sealing the message. Chosen one, take a deep breath and let this settle into your spirit. God did not warn you because something bad is chasing you. He warned you because He is walking ahead of you. These next 3 days matter, not because you must perform perfectly, but because God is inviting you to stay aware, aligned, and anchored in Him. You are not facing this season alone. You never were. Everything you are sensing right now has purpose. The heaviness, the clarity, the emotions, the stillness, the hesitation. None of it is wasted. God is refining you, not breaking you. He is protecting you, not restricting you. And what is unfolding is happening exactly the way it needs to, even if your mind still wants more answers. Remember this: you are chosen, but chosen does not mean rushed. It means guided. It means watched over. It means corrected with love and led with intention. What God is doing in you now will soon make sense when you look back. For now, your responsibility is not to figure everything out, but to stay close to Him and trust His direction. I speak peace over your mind right now. I speak calm over your heart. I speak clarity over your path. Whatever God is removing, let it go with trust. Whatever He is preparing, receive it with humility. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time. Before you leave, chosen ones, I want you to like this video if it spoke to your spirit, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this message with other chosen ones who need this confirmation right now. And comment 777 in the comments as a declaration that you are aligned, protected, and ready for what God is doing next. Stay grounded, stay faithful, stay close to God. Something big is unfolding and you are prepared for it.